we know there's diagnostic, there's therapeutic, and there's like data storage. Let's explore a little bit on the therapeutic. In the therapeutic, what I know is there's pharmaceutical or there's surgery procedures. And that's remove the surgery because that involves humans. How about pharmaceutical situation? Are the medicines very readily available? For example, diabetes patients will require medicines on a regular basis. Are they readily available? Will there be a shortage of that? And also, is the price transparent or is the price expensive?
Well, one of those points in that busy slide was pharmaceutical and medical supplies chain, and it's not always available. So one glucose stick can become a life-threatening if you go into the ambulance to pick up a patient that is diabetic, but then you don't know how to, we cannot test the current sugar level because we run out of glucose because none of all the vendors here doesn't have it. So that kind of inventory, supply inventory, and that transparency of where there's the sourcing out, it's just we don't know who has it and who doesn't have it and when does it arrive. So that is the black hole in terms of pharmaceutical and medical supplies too.
I see. Follow-up questions on that. Where do you actually acquire or receive your pharmaceutical supply? Is it directly from USA or Taiwan or Japanese government? Because I do know that Palau receive regular supplies from USA, Taiwan, and Japan.
It's depends because there's private clinics that have their own pharmacy and then they have their own vendors. And then the government has their own vendors. So it's very fragmented. And suppliers can range from the US base all the way to India and Taiwan. The other country donates medical and pharmaceutical products, but not necessarily it matches the formality where we use it on a daily basis.
I see. So I'm hearing that it's a very heterogeneous source of pharmaceuticals, and sometimes it requires availability or donations, basically the kind of the expense of other countries. Another follow-up question on that is, what is the procedure for the, say, a pharmacy here or a clinic to acquire pharmaceutical made directly from Africa or India? Do they have to pass through like certain levels of approval process, or is it only distributed by governments, or how does it work?
Individual company can order their stuff as long as they have a license from the Ministry of Health. So you can own your pharmacy. There's a regulation in there, and you can open your pharmacy, but you're free to choose your vendors to come in.
I see, understand. So now I want to then explore solutions with Abhijit, as we have explored the challenges for the pharmaceutical. So I will let Abhijit to first introduce his company, and maybe he can provide one of the solutions here.
I think Pearl is very right. And like there are three predominant problems that is across there in emerging countries. Like we are also company which solves or addresses the global south. So whenever you go to the global south countries like Latin America, Southeast Asia, and Africa, these problems are very rampant. One is access. Like most of the countries don't have the access to the medicine, which causes in 10% of the deaths that should not happen if you just have the access. It's not about the pricing. Pricing is a different thing. And then comes the pricing. Like pricing is a big problem because one Panadol or one paracetamol in Singapore is $1. But when you go to India, you can buy 100 paracetamol in $1. So the price arbitrage and the price difference is huge across different geographies. And the third is the quality. Like there are different kind of regulations, like WHO GMP is the minimum, then EU GMP, then there is the Latin America FDA, and there is the US FDA. So a lot of times the countries who are not getting the medicine and they're paying the higher for a lower quality price. So these are like the very common problems across geographies in the global south, emerging countries. So now I can tell you like what we are doing about it. So maybe I will bore you with a video. So that's how it works.
When he's getting ready for his videos and slide, I also want to share that I know in Palau that when one person gets really sick and requires really big medical procedures or attentions, they will go to Taiwan, and people in Palau will crowdfund and just give a little money and so that the sick persons can afford flights to Taiwan to seek such complicated medical procedures. And that community essence it is really powerful, but at the same time made me wonder that if we can have just help and just leverage the power of digital community or any kind of a blockchain solution in here in Palau, that will be very powerful. So that's way for RPG.
No, you are right, and that is amazing. So to introduce ourselves, like we are the largest pharmaceutical marketplace right now. So we do B2B cross-border. So we acquire the manufacturers and suppliers from India and China and send it to the emerging countries, emerging continents like Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Africa. And we are closely working with a few governments in Africa because when we went there, then we realized that they are at least paying 30% higher for a substandard medicine that they are acquiring. So what I will do is I will play a video where you can learn more about it. And then I will also tell what we are doing on blockchain.
Okay, since we cannot hear that, Abhijit, would you like to just go to the website and then explain through instead of watching the video?
So basically, there are what I realized through Pearl that there is no FDA in Palau. Mostly we have the FDA, that is the cause of entry barrier. If there is no voiceover, but yeah, it will give you a fair idea if you are trying to reach something. But yeah, that is the whole idea. So you can acquire from India and China at a very cheaper price, and it can definitely address a lot of problems. So most of the transaction doesn't happen. People know the arbitrage. People know it is very cheap in India and China, but they still don't go to India and China because of the lack of trust and transparency. Because they don't know who the vendor is. Because they don't know what is the kind of quality they are going to get. Because they don't know will the payment be safe. So we are predominantly solving three problems. One is the discovery of buyers and sellers. Like you can reach out to the verified buyers and sellers through us. Two, it's trade assurance like Alibaba. We hold your money. It's kind of an escrow. So if you make the payment stays with us till the time you confirm that, okay, I got the right order, which I ordered, and then we release the payment. And third is the trade finance. Like trade finance is really important in Africa, where 50% of our orders need trade finance. Even the government, like we have a contract of around $60 million with the government of Rwanda. Even there, we are providing the trade finance from a couple of our trade finance partners in Singapore. One is in Korea. So these are the three major problems that we are solving. The video is predominantly about that the problem is discovery, trade finance, and trade assurance. So one of the other wonderful things that we have done is we have created a product cost calculator. Like we have made 3 million transactions live. So you can real-time track at what price which medicine is being sold to which country. For example, if I put azithromycin, which is a very common medicine, I can have if somebody wants to suggest the name of any medicine, I'm open to it. Like, do you want to check any particular thing? But yeah, let me start with azithromycin.
Insulin?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, insulin is crazy high in USA, but if you go to Canada, the price is like 90% cheaper. Just like, yeah. USA is like a different planet. It's not Earth, to be honest. Like,
why is that?
Everything is different. Yeah, you can see the pricing. So we have 3 million transactions. So you can real time track. Like currently we have 3 countries data, but by the end of the year we're planning to have 30 countries data. So you can see that same medicine, same supplier is sending to the different country three different buyers for three prices because they don't have the idea like what is the price, and the arbitrage is so big. Like one Panadol is $1 and in India it's 100. So the arbitrage is so big that people are not able to find out like what is the correct price, and they think it's okay. So we opened up the price that you can just check what is the ballpark figure, and maybe you pay 10% higher, not 50% higher, what they are charging. So this is one of the other things we are doing. And lastly, there are some blockchain applications that we are doing that I can play.
Thank you, Abhijit. We will send the video to the audience later.
It's quite small. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I know I'm boring you guys.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Let me do a brief before you. There was traceability. You can see the time stamp and you can see the origin of the medicine by scanning the QR code. So that is first thing, and the second thing is tracking. You can see the whole transactions on the chain because it helps in dispute resolution. Somebody ordered something and they got something else. So if the entire data is on the blockchain, the data integrity is there. Third part is like we are converting the documents to NFT, so it cannot be tampered with. There is a lot of problem with tampering in the cross-border transactions. And the fourth is like reviews and ratings are on blockchain. So yeah, that's all.
All right, please sit down.
Yeah.
You, Abhijit. That's one of the big problems of, in terms of pharmaceutical pricing in the whole world, because we never really know what is the correct price of the medicine we receive every time we go to the hospital. Like I live in New York City, San Francisco, Taiwan, and Palau, and I bet you the medicine I receive in every country is very different. Like the medicine I receive in San Francisco is like 1 times than Taiwan. So how can Palau then benefit from this specifically? Can Palau clinics like Pearl purchase all the pharmaceuticals from your platform? There's an echo. Can we turn it off?
So to answer this question, I yesterday sat down with Pearl and tried to understand how they are procuring. So it's very interesting. So they are procuring from different destinations. And the other thing is there's no FDA, like there is no approval committee of Palau. First, I will suggest you guys to have a.
There is a committee, you need to have a license, there's a regulation at the Ministry of Health, but it's not called FDA, but you have to meet those regulations in order for you to be able to get your medicine into the pharmacy.
So you need to register for pharmacy or you need to register to get the drug in?
Pharmacy.
Yeah, getting the pharmacy, yeah, you have the, but in every other country, you have a agency for which you have to go through to pass the medicine quality. The first thing I would suggest to go through the approval committee that you guys need to set up because of the quality of medicine. The other thing is like we are dealing with a lot of US FDA companies, and I can guess like what are the price Palau is paying right now. I think they are paying almost 30 to 40% higher for which is substandard medicine. So maybe you can change to the like FDA, US FDA standards, and even then the pricing will be lower to what you guys are procuring right now.
So for the follow-on question to that, say if I live in a country where pharmaceutical is expensive using your very transparent price comparator, and then I notice that, oh, the medicine of Taiwan is really cheap. And how is it possible for me sitting in San Francisco to purchase medicine in Taiwan price? Is that what you're suggesting?
So, like I said, we are dealing in the global south. US has its own problems, so we try to stay away from the US for at least a couple of years. So yeah, if you talk about any other country, really, so we are currently not operating in the US and Europe, but yeah, global south, emerging countries, yes, we can. There are ways to get, like, we are creating the long tail of pharma. So by the end of the year, you will have more than 10 million products. So I think people can find even very rare and obscure medicines here at a very reasonable price. That is the idea.
So you're saying that other than the USA, people in countries where the price of pharmaceuticals is expensive can actually go to your website and to see the traceable pricing and purchasing records on blockchain and then purchase from there. Will that then be subjected to additional regulations? Is your platform in compliance with multiple countries?
Yes, we are in compliance. Like we are a B2B cross-border, so we have to be in compliance. So we are completely in compliance. And even if some retail person wants some rare medicine, they can reach out to somebody we can suggest in that geography. That if you are in Argentina and you need some rare medicine, we can tell you, okay, you go to this supplier, you will send the medicine to this supplier, you can get it.
I see. Yeah. Well, Pearl, do you see this possible? Would you like to experiment with IT?
Yeah, we have a couple of meetings with him on site conference, so we're having that dialogue, and it can solve that pharmaceutical. But blockchain for medical record is also an aspect that we really looking into how we consolidate or organize and put that data, patient data information on individual access. So we talk about wellness process for individuals to own their stuff.
To be honest, like I can help you with that. Like we have a blockchain developers. I can give you and they can develop a solution, but you have to put the data in. So we can build a tech solution for you if you want.
I love how this summit has just helped solve one problem in Palau. So thank you, Abhijit, for bringing the technology solutions and expertise and the future help to this amazing country. And thank you, Pearl, for sharing your insights and updates for the status of healthcare in Palau.
Thank you so much, James.
So this is the last panel. Anybody have questions in terms of regarding the healthcare?
Wonder why you would think that having USDA standards should bring the prices of drugs. And
no, I'm not saying bringing a US FDA to price down. I'm saying you can have this US FDA standard medicine at the same price. You can get better quality at the same price or maybe lower.
The other thing is there's no way for testing. There's not any way for chemistry for any of the products. So is there a mechanism that allows you to guarantee the quality?
Yes, we have testing partners in India who will test the products and send the report. They are like certified partners. Yeah.
You can make a lab here too, right?
Absolutely, if you want.
That would solve a lot of money.
Yeah, why not?
Next, this one.
Yeah.
From the challenges you mentioned here, like the obesity and diabetes, I know it's very common in the Pacific because it's seafaring people, and actually genetically you had to have very efficient carbohydrate metabolism in order to survive those long trips in the ocean. But like what?
It's okay.
50 genes.
Yeah. So
50 genes.
But I think that the solution is not those drugs. You know, because I don't know if there's high correlation actually between with drugs and improved life expectancy. I think the solution should be on, nutrition and exercise. And maybe there should be like solutions to track or incentivize the population here for better nutrition, higher quality food, and more physical activity.
And that's exactly what I do with our NGO. Everything that you said we've been doing for the last 15 years. We're looking at that data, and we've been changing policy to have wellness process and access. And so part of being here is looking at the medical records, patient data that can be organized so the individual can own their own wellness screening and their data so they can make that decision along the way. So there's a lot of ramification around this obesity, and it ranges from our political structure to our healthcare structures, even down to whatever theories our scientists have been saying about us. But at the end of the day, we have to own the process like everybody else. And And I think technology like blockchain can organize the healthcare system so we can intervene that process of disease burden with wellness interventions if we have our data organized and understand who we are through science and data.
I think it's a very relevant question, and I appreciate the question because people do not realize that obesity is sometimes because of malnutrition. Obesity is a sign of malnutrition. People do not realize, and like how much nutrition is important to cure obesity is like very understated. So
I'm just saying that, by the way, on the solution side, you can quantify how much it costs to your economy to have an obese person, and then have like a program where you, if you're not considered obese, you get some sort of like a cash incentive or actually a token because you save that money from the healthcare system of the country.
Yeah, there's that kind of a reward and incentivization program that's being built and also explored here, because indeed, what I have noticed is that Palauans do not like to eat vegetables. The vegetables are not very readily available in supermarket and all that. Like today, the lunch boxes we prepare for all of you, there were 20 vegetarian lunches. And our Palauan partners were like, who the hell is vegetarian? We're like, most people do. That's why I think that in Zululu, if we come to Palau, we can really like try to do activities to facilitate and instill this healthy lifestyle. Yeah.
I think we need to understand that some of the reason why we're at this state of health is we don't have organized data to look at what's out there that can intervene that scale of that wildfire that we have. Because we do have funds, but it's very fragmented system and it's still fairly new. That's why we're looking at this system. And if we can incorporate exercise, nutrition classes, whatever wellness process that we have, this will open access. And when we understand through that data, we can improve people's lives using this kind of technology, because we will be in a better position to make decisions if we know through data. So I'm not an economics or whatever with this crypto. I'm looking at blockchain as a huge database that is secured with this patient. And I told you before, I don't know anything about technology, but it's the concept that I think I'm willing to go and open the envelope to see how we can organize. We're very few, so the data is probably going to be a penny drop in somewhere in the cyberspace. And if we can kind of agree to say, have the power to say yes, and look at a very small island that can change their statistics from this world disease burden as NCD, I think we can be a successful case study or pilot in a blockchain. It's been wasting, so I'm going to give it to
I think this question statement is going to be an extension from the original question to your answers, which are actually all in line. It's the combination. I got to sit in on an AI conference, and this is specifically on healthcare, combining AI with the blockchain, because the blockchain is needed for the records to be kept secretive, and then the AI is used for up to the second information for specifically that person on how to heal. And a lot of the solutions are not, they don't need a doctor. It's literally, they just need a prescription of better health. So I just challenge you to do that, because I'm from Guam and we have the biggest problem, as you know, we're probably higher percentage than you. I had no idea that those, there's a word for these things that where you get your blood transfused from, these centers. I thought they were like medical centers. No, they're not dialysis centers, right? They're actually where people get transfused. We have so many that we actually have centers all over Guam. Yeah, and it's huge. It's a huge problem. And so it's beyond genetic. It's a healthy lifestyle. But I did sit in on that. I'll happily share it with you. It was one of the big AI firms that said, get ready. If there's a way to cross the doctor to the AI doctor for certain types of illnesses, now's the time to do it because it'll be way more effective than waiting for a doctor. Yes.
We did try, there's a group of us, we're certified life coaches, and we needed to do a presentation to the healthcare fund. And we sat with Dr. Yano, we were just playing with AI of how we put our context and see how it goes. So yes, I would like to explore that because I think wellness process is a process where you can find it in your cell phone, and then you make that determination of how you're going to take care of it. So it's a lot of influence with using social media too for our people, our population, from the old lady in the Marseille to the fishermen, they're on their cell phone. So that's an opportunity to look into that and have our data be that readily available for somebody to make their own decision. And the process is to have the individual power to make that decision, either you want to be healthy. So I think technology is a really good, excellent prompter for people to learn how to be healthy and maintain their wellness.
In India, there are two solutions which are called data-based decision making. So it is for doctors. So when doctors start writing the prescription and they put the prompts, it starts suggesting, okay, this can be this, this can be this, this can be this. I think the data storage can lead to that, where even a doctor can be 10 times more productive, and he won't have to do the alpha beta testing a lot of time to get it results. So I think this is huge, and if you can do the database making at some point time, there is a software actually. So you can just put the prompt and it will start giving you, okay, this might be a result. It really helps the doctor.
Any other questions? If not, then let's thank Pearls and Abhijit for sharing this exchange. And I'm excited for the culture of Palau to engage in here, and we can continue this collaboration after this summit. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Elaine.
And if anybody who has like any biotech, longevity tech want to have could you do experiment, then contact me.
Elaine, you're my new BFF.
Yes, of course. All right. So this concludes our Palau Blockchain Summit. Of course, does not end here. We have the whole day of Rock Island activity tomorrow, and we will visit some of the islands that we reserve, and you will swim with a shark. You will try spearfishing, and we will have a fresh seafood barbecue on the island. Of course, we will not rely on your catch because we will starve, but we will make sure we have enough fish for everyone. And so here's our closing remark. Before we head to this dinner later in Drop-Off, which is a restaurant by the marina, where His Excellency the President will join us there. But here I would like to just share my gratitude for a lot of you and all of you. This will not happen with so many of your help. This is our first time organizing an event like this in Palau, in such a remote place where all the supply has to be shipping from overseas, including this, including all the equipment, including the notebooks and everything. We have to print overseas, including your wristband.